It sounds like something straight out of science fiction. The author Arthur C. Clarke actually wrote about it, this idea of a world that's a perfect reflection of our own. He imagined a person getting flipped into their own mirror image. Well, what was once just a wild concept for a novel is now getting very, very real in the world of science. And it brings up some huge questions about what life even is.
So just think about that for a second. What if there was an entire ecosystem, but it was a mirror image of ours? We're talking mirror bacteria, mirror plants, mirror animals, everything. It's a truly wild idea, right? But it's something scientists are getting closer and closer to creating. And it forces us to ask, what would that actually mean for our world?
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this idea of mirror life, we first need to understand a really fundamental and, honestly, kind of weird property of all life here on Earth. It's a concept that scientists call handedness.
Now, the big sciencey word for this is chirality. But don't let that scare you, because it's an idea you already understand perfectly. All you have to do is think about your own hands.
Go ahead, look at your hands. Your left hand and your right hand are perfect mirror images of each other, right? But try to place one directly on top of the other, palm up on palm up. They just don't line up. They're what we call non-superimposable. And that simple fact right there is chirality in a nutshell.
So why on earth does this matter? Well, here's the kicker. The tiny little building blocks of all life behave just like our hands. For reasons we honestly still don't fully get, every living thing on this planet uses left-handed amino acids to build its proteins, and it uses right-handed sugars for its DNA and RNA. It's a totally universal standard. It's wild. And this handedness isn't just a fun fact. It's absolutely crucial. You can think of our bodies as this incredibly complex system of locks and keys. An enzyme is like a lock, and it's shaped to only accept a very specific key, a molecule with the right shape, the right handedness. So if you have a right-handed lock, a left-handed key just won't fit. It can't. And this basic principle runs everything from how we digest food to how our immune system works.
Okay, and this is where it starts to get really exciting. Because if we can build molecules with the opposite handedness, if we can create a little mirror world at the molecular level, well, we could unlock some absolutely incredible breakthroughs in medicine.
We are talking about some real game changers here. Imagine drugs that are basically invisible to our body's cleanup crews, so they can stick around longer and work way better. Scientists actually did this back in 2016. They built a mirror image polymerase, which is a critical enzyme for building DNA. We could also use this tech to create really rare and valuable molecules that are super hard to make otherwise. So here's how a mirror drug might work. You identify a target for a disease, let's say a specific protein. Then you design a left-handed drug to fit it perfectly. The drug goes in, finds its target, and bam, it locks on. But here's the magic trick. All the enzymes in your body that would normally break that drug down are right-handed. They see this left-handed drug and they just ignore it. They can't interact with it. So the drug just keeps on working for much, much longer. The potential here is just massive.
But you knew there had to be a but, right? For every incredible promise, there's a potential risk. And the question becomes, what happens if we move beyond just mirror molecules and start creating entire mirror organisms? That's when things get a lot scarier.
And look, this isn't just me being dramatic. This is a very real concern. The scientific community has already put together a nearly 300-page report outlining the dangers of something like mirror bacteria. And let me tell you, those dangers are profound.
So remember that whole lock and key thing that makes mirror drugs so powerful? Well, that exact same principle is what would make a mirror organism so terrifying. Our immune system is a lock and key system. It wouldn't even recognize a mirror bacterium. And what's more, nothing out there in nature could eat it. No predators. It would be an invasive species with no natural checks and balances whatsoever.
So let's imagine this nightmare scenario. A single mirror bacterium gets out into the wild. Immediately it's invisible, immune systems can't see it, predators can't eat it. It would exist completely outside the entire web of life as we know it, free to multiply and spread in ways we can't even begin to predict, let alone control. It would be a true alien on its home planet. Let's make this even more concrete. Think about cyanobacteria. These are the little photosynthetic guys at the very bottom of the food chain in a lot of lakes and oceans. Now imagine a mirror version of them. They could still use sunlight for energy, no problem. They would multiply and create these massive blooms, but nothing could eat them. The tiny creatures that rely on them for food would starve, and then the things that eat them would starve. The whole food chain just collapses. It is a truly chilling thought.
So, this is where we are. We're at a crossroads.
On one side, you have the incredible potential for new medicines that could save countless lives, and on the other, you have the risk of unleashing an ecological catastrophe. It is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward situation.
You can really see the two sides of the coin here. The benefits are amazing, but they're focused. Better drugs, better industrial processes. The risks, though, they're huge and ecological. Widespread immune evasion, total ecosystem collapse. So the great challenge is figuring out how to get all that good stuff without accidentally triggering the nightmare scenario.
You know, we've been here before. This isn't the first time science has developed something so powerful. When recombinant DNA technology came along, scientists all got together to create really strict safety rules to handle it responsibly. And right now, we're having a massive global conversation about AI and how to manage it. Mirror life belongs in that exact same category. It's so potentially transformative that we have to think through every single consequence, together, before we leap.
In the end, this isn't just about clever chemistry in a lab. We are talking about the potential creation of a fundamentally new type of life on this planet. A form of life that our world has absolutely no context for. The science is moving, no doubt about it. But the real question isn't just can we do this, it's should we? And are we actually ready for the answer?